What's happening, guys? I'm Dan. Welcome back to the channel. We're diving back into another Arvon beer that I have not had. So here we are breaking it down with you guys. It's going to be called Doppledanger. Yeah, I kind of like that name. Pretty cool, huh? So this is around $5.99 for this can. Very typical price point for Arvon. I feel like they've lowered a lot of prices recently, or a lot of beers rather. $3.99, $4.99. Sometimes you'll have a $6.99, but they're no slouches. They make awesome beer. It's totally worth it, and it's that awesome craft beer and that awesome Michigan craft beer that we look for, guys. So really worth every penny if you ask me, and this is clocking in at 8% ABV, and this is a double hazy New England, brewed with Mosaic and Amarillo hops. So it is, again, 8%, a little bit higher than I like for my everyday sipper, but it's Arvon. We drink Arvon. We see new Arvon. We take it home. So that's what it is. So this was canned on July 9th, 23, and today is the 22nd of July. Not doing as many beer reviews these days, trying to be a little bit healthier, but you know what? We'll save that topic for another day. So today is beer review. Let's crack into this, and it's that typical water painting, old school throwback that Arvon always did. Nowadays they do collaboration labels with many different people. This one is still that throwback, the original water painting. So I have my big glass, I like to call it. This big ass glass. So as we're pouring, it's that dirty, murky orange copper that we see sometimes in these big beers from Arvon. But boy, oh boy, it's muddy. It's hazy. It's thick. It's all kinds of action in a glass. I mean, look at this thing, guys. That's exactly how it looks. It's got this nice bright white, super creamy head sitting on top, and it's sticky, and it's Dawn soapy, and it's foamy, man. It is just, look at this. Look at this. That's sexy. Sexy beer alert. Good to get all those alerts going off on the camera, but I don't edit, so we're not doing that. Wow. I smell citrus. I smell tropical fruit notes. I smell citrus and stone fruit. I smell all kinds of citrus, basically, but let's get an official aroma on this, guys. Let's go for it. Kind of green, a little bit of hoppy, caramel a little bit. It feels maltier than some of the other beers. It's got a little bit of earthy peach. A little bit of like berries and guava. Almost like passion fruity as well. I get that in a lot of Arvon. Like Arvon's, they play with so many different hops, but they're good at kind of honing in at what they do. So it's like stone fruit, it's tropical, it's citrusy, it's like a dank grapefruit in a way. But it smells green, it smells young in the can. It just smells very hop forward, slightly malty. All off the charts with different flavors, but let's get a better read on the flavor, guys. Let's dive in. It's Doppledanger. Cheers. Man, the body again. Arvon's getting better at like dialing in the body, man. It is creamy. It's soft. For being 8%, no harshness. Soft, hot butcher-esque body sitting on this beer, but it's that dark kind of maltier citrus that I get sometimes in these big beers. And again, I can usually tell by the color. It feels less of that like Citra. It feels less of the new age hops, although they're using Mosaic, yes. You have this Amarillo kind of throwback older hop profile that we've seen before and many, many years ago. And they're kind of putting this new age twist on some older hop varieties, which I like. So yes, it's a little bit maltier than some of their other varieties. But it's also just good in general. So again, that little soft, like doughy caramel malt body is sticking through a little bit in that middle, and there is some nice bitterness that hangs on the back end. But it's peachy, it's guava-like, it's passion fruity for a moment, but then that malty body kind of like kicks those factors out a little bit, and you're left with that kind of that heavier middle body going on. Pink grapefruit, still slightly dank, I would say. It's not like it's a dank beer, but there's got this grassy, earthy dankness that surrounds that pink grapefruit. It's slightly orangey. Again, I think the peach sticks out in abundance. I think there's a touch of like mangoes in here, like very dry mangoes that releases into bitterness on the back end. But again, this creamy, slightly malty body is super tasty. It adds just a little bit of decadence rather than just being like a Citra bomb that sometimes we see in so many New England styles, and even Arvon does it a lot. But this one, that maltier body kind of hanging on and kind of putting little accent marks on the Amarillo and Mosaic. So maybe, I mean, that could be the dankness coming in. So I guess that makes sense with that grapefruity kind of berry citrus that kind of is just playing off the top. It's giving me a little bit of that Mosaic vibes, but it's like the Amarillo kind of just reels everything in. It feels a little bit older school for a DIPA. And just, again, that maltier body kind of just evens everything out with all that extra hoopla, you know, with all that Citra bomb. It's curtailed. It's a little bit finished, you know, it's a little bit corrected from today's new age beers. What a nice body this thing has, though. Super creamy. Again, feels young. It's a little bit green. It's hop forward. But this guava passion fruity thing for a minute, the pink grapefruit, peachy mango, it's kind of just all over the map a little bit. But again, I come back to the body being so soft and creamy, and I come back to that maltier, slightly doughy, caramely finish through the middle. But again, finishes off with bitterness on the back end. Still reminds you it's a big beer, but guys, super drinkable, super nice touch with the body on this one. So is it the best Arvon beer I've had in a long time? No, but it feels unique. It feels like a different spin that you don't typically see with that maltier body. Just the Mosaic and the Amarillo. It feels kind of different than your typical Arvon beer, so it feels like they went a different direction. And we don't typically see that with some of their hazies. We see a lot of the same flavors. This one, yes, the flavors are similar, but again, it's finished in a different way, and it's got that maltier touch. I like it. I think it's a good beer. I think the body sticks out amazingly well in this. And again, 8% going down, pretty buttery. So where do we put this? I'm a big guy on drinkability. I'm a big guy on the body, the mouthfeel. It's got those things. It's a little green, it's slightly piney, a little bit herbaceous as well, but it's still super easy to put this down, and that's the most important part of all this. So as I stand for rating, I'm going to stick this around a 4.1 out of 5. Just a really well-made DIPA with a nice little spin on it. Again, a little young, a little bit grassy, a little bit earthy. Not as much as a Citra bomb or just Citra that you see in so many of their beers. I like the different angle. I like the different play for being that DIPA that we see so often. So yeah, guys, Doppledanger. I'm going to go 4.1 out of 5. I'm Dan. Thanks for being here. It's a pleasure. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here. And if not, you know what? Don't do anything. Thanks for clicking on the video. Cheers.